So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 6 key things that I'm doing every single day in order to make my eBay store successful. A lot of people just need to hear this. So hopefully you guys can learn a lot from this video. Drop a thumbs up and let's get into it. All right, guys. So the number one thing in order to run a successful eBay business across the board is getting your sourcing in order. You need to get the best items at the best price. All right, guys, so me personally, I have been tinkering and finding out the best possible route for my business right now. And right now, for me personally, the thing that I'm doing that's working very well is a mixture of the flea market and the Goodwill bins. At the flea market, a lot of the people that go and sell those items at the flea market actually get them from the Goodwill bins. They do like auctions and stuff like that, and they buy a bunch of items and they take them to the flea market. And I buy from them directly, and I just pick out piece by piece whatever works for my business model. I like to spend about $3 to $5 maximum and try to get 30 on average in return. Obviously, sometimes I will pay up more for some items. Sometimes I'll pay $100 for an item, depending on what it is. For the most part, I try to get 5x back on my investment, no matter what the item is. So if I'm spending $2.50 on something, I try to make 25 back. If I get something that goes for like $10, that means I got it way cheaper than that, and I don't care, or it's been sitting on my inventory for a long time, and I'll just accept an offer. So the number one thing is trying to figure out where to get this product, where it's coming from, how to get it at the best price possible. That might be common sense for a lot of people. Obviously, just try to get the items as cheap as possible, but there are many strategic ways to go about it in order to find the proper supplier, proper vendors, proper thrift stores. There's a lot of different things that you guys can do. We're not gonna cover all that in this video, but the number one thing to run a successful eBay business is getting that in order. Where can you get the best items at the best price? I was pointing out like 3 fingers. But yeah, guys, that's number one. All right, guys, number 2 is the second most important part of running an entire eBay business, is actually listing the dang items and getting them into your eBay store. I've seen thousands of resellers and thousands of comments and just people talking all over social media about why they can't get sales, but for the most part, most people have a death pile. Most people have piles of unlisted inventory that doesn't even have a chance of getting sold on eBay because people don't have a proper system of getting that into their store in a timely manner. People usually buy a bunch of stuff, they buy more than they can actually process, so they end up having a death pile in the corner and they don't get that stuff listed properly. I'm not gonna promote like a VA or anything like that, but when you guys are first starting out, you guys have to just sit down and list the hard way. When I first started, I got my entire eBay business up to like $20,000 a month. Me doing everything start to finish, listing the items, sitting down, taking the pictures, writing the descriptions, listing the items onto my eBay store by myself, no employees, just doing that, right? If you guys have that death pile, you need to stop sourcing and just focus on the listing. I personally advocate for having a listing goal just so you can be consistent, and if something goes wrong in your sales or something like that, you can usually pinpoint what was wrong the day you listed less items. I don't think eBay does anything with the algorithm specifically that brings your sales down when you list less items, but it is a great way to show eBay that you can be consistent, that you can run like a machine, and eBay rewards accounts that run like machines. All the big, massive eBay accounts that are making the most amount of money run like machines. Certain stuff happens no matter what every single day because they have a system in place in order to get that done no matter what. With pre-owned goods, a lot of people go into it, you know, usually as a hobby. So there is no system. There is no thing that gets done every single day. It gets done whenever you feel good about it, whenever you feel like it, and whenever you get a burst of motivation. There are certain days when I don't feel like doing what I want to do, but it still gets done no matter what because we have a system. I have a helper that helps me take pictures, which is actually my sister, but she helps me do a certain amount of listings every single day. And if she can't come in, if she's sick, I have to stop other stuff that I'm doing and make that happen because that's just part of my business plan. I have to do that. I have to stick to it. And if something happens where someone calls in sick, someone gets hurt, then we have to replace that process and get that done no matter what, because stuff happens every single day. Stuff always goes wrong. Be ready for the worst, and then just make sure it gets done no matter what. So if you guys are listing 2 a day, 10 a day, 30 a day, 40 a day, it doesn't matter. Try to get a system going to where you guys can do a certain amount of work every single day, no matter what. But guys, number 2 is actually getting the items up to your store, listing them, getting a little process going. Try to separate where you list items and where you take pictures and have a little station for all your stuff. The quicker you start treating it like a business, the quicker you guys will get more serious results. Throughout the years, I have switched. A while ago, I was doing like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then taking the weekend off on shipping. But I believe eBay wants us to be shipping every single day. Like, we're running our own businesses, but we're working for eBay technically. Like, we are working for eBay, and we have to kind of figure out what they like to see from us, right? If we are shipping out the items immediately as soon as they come in, and we're shipping out every single day, they have more incentive to give us more sales. If we are listing more items and they are consistently going up into our store and shipping them out right away, then eBay is going to trust us with more traffic. So I switched my way of thinking on shipping, and minimum Monday through Friday, I am shipping out items. You guys can do it however you guys want, but having a consistent way of shipping your items all the time. There's a lot of people that sometimes don't even have a label printer. They don't have a routine on when to they sell an item, and then they wait a couple of days, and then it's like the fourth day, and then they ship it. If you guys sell one thing a day, it doesn't matter. Try to get that shipped out right away so that eBay can trust you with more traffic, and they know you guys will not fail whenever you guys get a random day where you guys get way more sales than normal. The other day I sold like 28 items in one day. If I would have folded and took forever to ship those items and I didn't list like another 50 items that day, eBay would have been like, this guy cannot handle it. That day, I shipped out everything, listed more items, handled some returns and all that stuff, and then eBay the following day actually shot up my sales way more. So make sure you guys are shipping all the time, as often as you guys get sales, and just get those knocked out so that eBay can trust you with more traffic. All right, guys, number 4 is gonna be administrative work, admin work, just computer work. And that is gonna be like sending offers, running coupons, running markdown sales, making sure all your returns are cleared out so you guys don't get defects. Any kind of dispute that is in your store, make sure you guys get that knocked out every single day. I make sure that is at the top of my list when it comes to administrative work on eBay, even before listing my items, because if I get a defect, if I get a dispute, if I have a VERA or something like that, or if a return comes in and I don't send the money in the timely manner that eBay wants you to, you can get a defect, and that can get your account banned. When I first started, guys, I remember I was going really hard on eBay 5 years ago. I started way before that, but I remember when I first started again, when I was like an adult already, because I started when I was very young. But when I started with a whole new account, I was doing really good. I think I was like at $8,000 a month, my very first month, just listing a bunch of stuff, bringing it back home, listing it, and working as hard as I could. I remember I got hit with a bunch of disputes and bureaus. I wasn't even like logged into my seller hub to see these things happening, or like refunds that were open, or returns and disputes and defects. And I think I had like 7 defects in my store. I didn't know what I was doing. I was brand new. I knew how to go out and buy items and bring them back and sell them, and I could pinpoint what electronics were good and all that, but I was missing my admin work, and that cost me a lot of money because I got a bunch of defects and my account went way below standard, and my selling limit went from being able to list $30,000 a month in value into my store to like 2,000. So like almost all my listings went away. I think I was like at 250 listings, and my goal was to fill up my 30,000 a month, because the more amount of money you have listed into your store, the more possibilities you have to make more money. Completely cut down the amount of money that I could possibly make by only having $2,000. And it took me a couple of months to get out of that hole by not checking. Make sure you guys are careful about that. Check your stuff. Get a computer if you guys don't have one. Check your seller hub. And you guys actually don't need a computer to check your seller hub. You guys can go on Safari or Google and click the classic site on eBay, and you guys can see what I am talking about there. You guys can see all your metrics and make sure you guys have a healthy account. And also try to shoot for having a top rated account. It takes a little bit of time if you guys are new, but it is definitely possible. It is not that hard to get top rated. All right, guys, number 5 is gonna be like prepping inventory and just having everything organized around you. Whether you're in a shed, garage, bedroom, it doesn't matter, guys. This is very important to most people's businesses, and it's something that, honestly, it's like my favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do is getting a bunch of items and then prepping them for my sister, or if I were to take pictures. I like the organization part of my business. I love putting items away. I love cleaning stuff. I love prepping it. I love getting a bunch of jeans ready to go for pictures and stuff like that. And that is one thing that I really like to do. If I really like to do pictures, I would have my sister do this. I really like to do this, so I have my sister taking pictures, because honestly, I don't really like taking pictures too much. So prepping items, having a little dedicated station from whenever you come back from the thrift store, the flea market, the Goodwill bins, you have a little section where all your unlisted stuff goes, where you guys can flat lay a bunch of jeans or a bunch of jackets or a bunch of shorts or test a bunch of electronics. Just having a little area dedicated just for that makes a massive difference. You guys don't need to have a whole entire warehouse in order to do this. You guys can be very organized with a very limited amount of space. And this is just what I have going on, guys, but I have seen some people's little systems work very well in a very tiny space. One thing I'm always checking for and making sure it's done out of my checklist is making sure I have a bunch of supplies ready to go for the future. These bags right here that I like store my clothing in, I have to make sure we always have enough. Right now we're taking pictures of like 70 items a day. Like if one day we run out and there's only 20, there's 50 items that will not have a bag. And then I have to wait for like the next day for them to come in. And that slows the momentum a lot. I have to be a couple of days ahead. I also have to be a couple of days ahead on my sourcing, making sure my sister has enough inventory for minimum 2 days ahead, so that if I go out and source, she could still come in early and get that knocked out, so that she's not waiting for me to come back and not have the items prepped. So my job is sourcing, shipping, administrative work, prepping the items, and all she does is just pictures. And yeah, guys, it's just like an all one cycle thing that I do in my business, and it's a very repetitive thing. And number 6 is gonna be the most important thing, guys, is actually being consistent with all these things all the time. I am not at my A game all the time, guys. Sometimes I'm very sluggish. Sometimes I don't wanna do anything. Sometimes I just leave here when it's like 1 o'clock p.m., right? And I don't get into my even like 8 hours of work. Sometimes I wake up super late, but I am very consistent. Sometimes, like let's say for example, this YouTube channel, sometimes I don't put in like above and beyond work into my videos, and I just kind of put them together and I walk through sluggishly through a video and I get one knocked out. And I've been doing that for a long time. I'm not in my A game all the time, but one thing for sure is that I am consistent. I am posting as much stuff as I can throughout the week, throughout a whole entire year. It's so much work that you put in because you are consistent. It's not about working the best or the hardest every single time. It's about showing up consistently and being present and just sometimes going through the motions and getting the stuff done no matter what. There's a lot of days when I don't want to wake up and go to the bins. I don't want to go source. I don't want to go to the flea market. I don't want to prep a bunch of items. I don't want to ship 30 items. I don't want to test a bunch of electronics. Right now, guys, I am not going to lie. I'm looking at these electronics right here, and I have to test a bunch of stuff right there. I don't want to do it. I don't feel too good to be doing that because I already did a bunch of stuff. I'm making this video. I'm going to make another video. I already prepped like 70 items for my sister. She's in there. I already dropped off packages, and I still need to hit the gym. When am I going to do that? Today is not a good day for me to do that. But you know what? I think I'm going to just toughen it up, suck it up, and still do it. And that's going to be the difference between me being successful or not, are the days when you don't want to do something. On the days where you're slower, you're sluggish, that's when you actually see a difference over a long period of time. Yeah, guys, that's 6 things that I have been doing for a very long time. 5 years, we're going into 6 in a couple of months with 2026 around the corner. If you're stuck, if you need a little bit of extra help, guys, I'm currently running a program that I haven't mentioned on YouTube. I have 10 spots available for like one-on-one mentorships. I already have 7 of them taken, so I only have 3 available. And I just want to offer it to the people on YouTube. If you're interested, it's only for more serious people that are trying to get to like a different level on eBay. You have to be doing this for a while in order to be able to work with me. I have very limited time, and it's a 12-week program. It's not a little 2-week thing. It's not a get-rich-quick program, but it is something that works. I implement all my systems. I help you out with your specific situation. I tear your entire business apart, and then we build a nice solid foundation, then we build it back up again, and then it's skills that you guys will have for the rest of your lives. The only reason why I was able to be successful again in clothing like I was with electronics and still growing, like I'm still growing my business every single day, was only because of my experience with running my previous business. I just switched out the kind of product that I am putting into my store and making that work. If you guys are interested in that, guys, message me on Instagram, the word scale. Message me that and I'll know you guys are interested in that program, and we can send you guys an application to see if you guys are fit for the program. Like I said, there's only 3 people. It's very limited, and we already have 7 that we are working with. So make sure you guys DM me the word scale, and I'll get that information to you to see if it is a good fit for both of us. But yeah, guys, 6 things that I am doing consistently throughout the years to make over like $1.2 million in sales throughout my little eBay career. And that is the main 6 things that I've been doing in order to achieve those results. If you guys learned anything in this video, drop a thumbs up, comment, or consider subscribing. DM me the word scale on Instagram. My Instagram is down below, and I'm gonna catch you guys later.